go back into my creator dashboard and do it. Content video. And this one is this one. As broadcast. Play. I can't click this shit. There we go. I can clip it. There we go. I couldn't clip it for them. I just gave them the exact time period of like when it happened. Because the moment like y'all started like saying this is like, oh wait, he has this weird fucking thingy. Then he got a device in his hand, right? He got a fucking device in his hand that was see-through, and it was just so fucking weird looking. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, he looked straight up in the air.
Yeah, I'll send it to you on Discord. Like at that point in time, it's like you could just like see it's like wait. For some reason, Xbox wasn't connecting to you.
Oh, there we go. Still get something, he just feel good. I just saw him just look up and then just he started weird.
Yeah, he also has a Steam profile account like hidden, so I can't. I try to look it up his Steam profile, and it's hidden. It's gone. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it wouldn't even let me kick him.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me report him from the lobby itself.
Yeah. I dipped out of that motherfucker. I was like, I'm not sitting around. I was like, I need him just breaking up my shit and fucking up my game on my Xbox.
Yeah. I sent it to the Discord report people, so they're gonna.
What did they even have the game? Fucking people over like that.
Well, it's not really fucking people over. It's more the fact that some of these people actually come into lobbies and they're just basically fucking around. They're bored of the game, so they just fuck around and they try to give people easy wins. But the thing is if you're associated with these people in a match and you don't report them,
You get banned too.
yeah, you get banned too. Because I believe the devs look over like the time period that it takes for some people to
Some people just don't know though.
Unity ID. Where's Unity ID? Oh, holy fuck, that's a long fucking thingy. I'm just typing out for this now. So apparently at the bottom of the board, there's the the main menu bar, there's a Unity ID,
Yeah.
and they want that.
Oh, mine is
Not yours.
LE0. Huh?
Everyone's different. Everybody's is different.
Um, yeah, it's like your session code or whatever. It kind of like is an identifier.
Yeah, I'm just typing it up for the minute. I don't feel like screenshotting and then.
Okay, it's literally in your stream. You sent him a clip of it, and literally it's in the video.
No, I sent him a clip of the. It's only
Okay,
shown
fine.
in the main. It's only shown in the main screen. Oh, I mean, yeah, I am streaming right now.
I found it before.
It's in the main menu, and it's at the bottom left side of the main menu border.
Yeah, yeah, that one. I found it in game before. Like, not just there.
You know, I've never completed the in-game training.
I've gathered a list
I
of
didn't
other
do it.
hunters asking for help.
Now, the nice thing
Yeah.
about this is, if you block somebody in this game, they shouldn't be able to join match.
I have to think if I've seen any other cheaters. It's just that patch stood out, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Because I was like, wait, is that because he was prestige 20? So he's maxed out. And I was just like, what the fuck? Because I just now realized your prestige patch goes for your sleeve.
Yep, it goes on all of her sleeves.
Yeah, I don't know what person looks like. Well, mine shit looks like probably nothing or just the eyeball. How do people put two fucking shits on there? Badge. There's like
He's,
one prestige and one special.
he said that my Unity is a lowercase L, not a capital I. And then
The fuck?
well, it's hard to see that if it's a lowercase L because on the stream it looks like a capital I. It looks like an IQA, not an LQA.
Yeah. Fuck another all-nighter playing fucking sniper.
Who's who's pulling out all nighter?
One of my boys. I did that shit last week. He's still playing the fuck out of it.
Are you gonna get Hell Tides when that releases?
Am I? Let's see. I didn't even pay for Night Rain. One of my buddies bought it for me. He said, "Don't play with this," and I was like, "I don't feel like spending money on it." That's because I get bored of. You sound like a troll. Prestige 20, rank 124. What the fuck? Maybe I had my cursor over, but I got credit for that one and you didn't.
Oh, I didn't want to become affiliated with that guy.
Oh, I didn't click anything at all, and it still gave me credit for that.
Yeah, that's when I said he was a hacker. He was going through all of our journals and putting it in.
Oh,
I need
that's
to.
what he's like. What do you mean? This? You didn't click anything.
Yeah, I don't want to like partake in that. So I was just like, he's a hacker. I'm very sensitive to hackers, by the way. I'm very knowledgeable when somebody's cheating.
That's just because you'll get fucked over for
Uh,
somebody else's
no, I
actions.
used to be a moderator for Activision for years.
I think I still am to this day because I still have access. And finished. I mean, ambassador for
I was a
Xbox,
freelance
so I can be
moderator,
on.
so I play multiplayer games and hacker lobbies because they needed somebody to this was like Advanced War, Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 4, until they introduced Raven.
Yeah.
So Raven was their is their anti cheat, or was. It's probably somebody else now. It's Beanox now, I think. But they have botnets and all that stuff now. It's just pointless. It's pointless
Yeah,
playing It's pointless playing
they've come out.
multiplayer.
Huh?
It's pointless playing multiplayer on Call of Duty because all they do is they just botnet your stuff. They steal your information and all that.
Yeah, it's just.
Like on
Uh,
PC, like if you have a webcam up, they'll facial recognize yourself and oh, you're getting mad. This is pissing you off. Good. We're gonna use that reaction so we can put you in lobbies with bots that are gonna piss you off. Oh, you're doing good, so we're gonna mimic what you're doing and set it up in a AI system so our bots can learn off of you. Oh, that bot shot you through a wall. Oh, it's not a cheater. It's just, you're getting mad at this. This is pissing you off. So we're going to create bots that are like cheaters. So you report this, giving us the knowledge. It's like, hey, this person is sensitive to cheaters. So instead of, being in a lobby and, moderating and, saying, hey, this person is cheating, and then having to go through hours upon hours upon hours of gameplay footage, they can just set up bots within the game. Oh, this person shot their bot and it's actually cheating. That person gets instantly banned. Oh, that
yep.
person is popping off curse words in a Warzone match, or is popping off curse words in a multiplayer match. Oh, the
Oh,
kill cam feed of the bot,
exit.
the, the kill cam feed of the bot just read that. Oh, you got banned. So whoever you killed, and you're swearing, and you're like getting shot at, and you're swearing, and saying Effenheimers and whatnot, it's gonna ban you. But in zombies, it doesn't do that because the zombies actually doesn't have the botnet interface because you're actually going against AI routine bots that are just spawning out of Blahui.
It's just so shitty that fucking there's interns and shit that work for them and do a lot of their anti-cheat software and just sell the data to cheating companies.
I mean, look what fucking Kick does, man. Um, the streaming site.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
you're telling me.
like the only way people get big is by selling off basically selling their soul, just to selling their soul to like whatever. Wow, Star Citizen is finally fucking releasing after 40 fucking years, and you get 8 free ships. The biggest scam of the year is finally becoming released. Dude, this. Have you heard of Star Citizen?
Yes, our system's awesome. There's also Space Marauders.
Is Star Citizen the scam one, the one that's been going on for years?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been going on for 12 years, and it's been a scam because some of the ships cost hundreds of dollars. Yeah, the main, the creator of it got big buku money out of it. What fucking the guy was fucking piss poor when it first started, and like he just been like racking in all this dough and all that. Now he lives in a fucking like 5-star fucking mansion. He has like all these fucking cars because everybody's just like buying into this thing, and it's been going on for 12 years. Imagine how many times they'd have fucking revamp the graphics and fucking. It was initially supposed to be released in 2013. Like, goodness gracious. One of my friends that I used to actually be friends with, he was buying into this stuff, and like he caught whiff of it. This is like it was just a pyramid scheme. Apparently, the game already has cheaters. A game that's been in the
Yeah.
works for 12 fucking years already has cheaters. You couldn't have invented a anti-cheat software in the last 12 years that was like top notch after spending spending like $1 billion on a house. You couldn't fucking do anything. Apparently, the cheats are aimbot, wall hacks, god mode, no clipping through objects, and physics manipulations.
That's alright.
I thought this game was a spaceship game.
Yeah. Essentially.
And all the time and all that money that they got from it, they couldn't have, created a the anti-cheat software that would prevent all this. Really? Why?
Yeah, it was like back in the day I went to the midnight release of Ghost, and I got home right after the midnight release to play it, and there was already people cheating on it.
Did you hear about what Activision has to do with World War II?
But
They had to shut World War II down on PC because people were using RCE cheats, which literally steal personal data from people when they play the game.
yeah, like I've seen videos of it where people get killed, and then they just got pop-ups on their computer, and then they start fucking with their shit.
Yep.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Reddit trolls are weaponizing government agencies against creators. What the fuck? Some gay white boy is fucking going around trolling on fucking Reddit. He's saying, "Hey, you can't do this, and if you do this, I'm gonna go to the fucking CIA." Bro, leave him alone. Google to pay 2.4 billion in deal to license tech of windsurf. I'm on my news thingy. Dude, that Jurassic World Rebirth is just garbage. It's literally them just. They know Jurassic Park sells, so it's just them just like sucking out the life of it. It's like what they're doing with Last of Us. Like they're just remaking it to suck the life out of it. Apparently, PlayStation and Nintendo Switch made a deal. Now, classic PlayStation games are appearing on Nintendo Switch consoles.
Fuck.
Oh, Lord of the Rings. I was really skeptical of the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power fucking series because I saw all that fucking controversy and hate on it. And then I watched it, and it's actually not bad. It is quite confusing on why it's so diverse, but it's not bad because it's weird seeing a black dwarf.
True. That's how I had a black dwarf was in fucking Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, but the thing
Gives me some off-wall characters.
the thing is they did a lot of recasting of roles after the controversial stuff, and they went back and fixed a lot of how things were like said and brought out, so they got rid of that crappy wokeness crap, which is nice because they really did want to save the Tolkien legacy because Peter Jackson did a phenomenal role on Lord of the Rings. Did you know they did all three movies in 5 years?
Jesus.
Yeah. A Ronald McDonald statue was McNapped from a Pennsylvania fast food restaurant. Path of Exile's got an update.
Yeah, Path of Exiles too.
Illegal immigrant convicted of shooting at small town officer in high speed chase.
Yeah, Texas.
So you hear about what? I'm streaming stuff. Nobody's watching. Did you hear about alligator Alcatraz and how the controversy about that shit is going
Flooded.
on?
Yeah, flooded and everything. People bitching about it. And then if you post pictures of the same situation during Obama and Clinton, everything, and then you tell someone it's Alcatraz, they'll agree with you, and then you're like, no, it wasn't even him. So nice try.
So
It's
yeah,
so
so a
funny
lot of
where he
people
tweets
like
it.
my girlfriend sent me a thing on fucking TikTok about it. It's like, oh, you supported this. It's like you do know that you do know that it's just a detaining center, so it's for the illegals who are doing criminal things like smuggling
Most of
drugs,
them,
smuggling children.
most of them are already wanted in other countries, anyways.
Yeah, like
We're not the
it's
only country that does it. Why is it a problem that only we are enforcing it?
because we're the only country that stole land from the national Indians who were here, who they actually stole land from the Mayans and the Celtic tribes that were actually in Central America
Yeah,
who were actually
I love when people
immigrating
are
into
like,
America.
he stole it from Mexico, and I'm like, no, he didn't. We bought it from Spain, and Mexico owned it for 20 years or
But
something like that.
but
Like,
we
not too long.
stole the land originally. It's just like it's kind of hard to steal land that wasn't civilized. There was a bunch of tribes on the land, but it wasn't ruled under one figurehead. So technically, it wasn't stolen. It was conquered.
Yeah, and people just want to bitch and want reparations, and they want to give me shit for everything. It's like, bro, grow the fuck up. Stop asking.
you still have that, that, oh, I hate that kid because that kid stole my car. Like, what Jesus teaches us is like, it doesn't matter who wrongs us. We need to learn how to forgive those who wrong us. Because if we keep that in us, not only is it going to bring us down, but it's going to prevent us from growing. It's going to prevent us from moving forward and seeing the goodness in people. Because, yeah, a lot of people are fucked up. A lot of people do a lot of fucked up shit. But a lot of people are just misguided. Like, if I had to give you advice right now, I would say, go get a King James Life Applicable Bible where it fucking tells you everything about everything. And, just sit down and read it. You don't have to read it from cover to cover because that's the number one way that most people go from Christian to atheist, actually. If you want to pursue God, I would say go get a Bible. Go in a room, close your eyes, grab the Bible, and say, God, I don't truly believe in you. I don't believe that your existence is real. I want you to put your hand on the Bible or just hold it. I want you to close your eyes and just say from your heart, like, God, I don't truly believe you exist. I don't know if you exist, but if you do, I want you to take this Bible in my hand and show me a sign that you are here. Technically, we're not supposed to ask God for a sign, but those who want to learn about God's existence, who want to venture outside of their comfort bubble, I would suggest, just asking God or the Holy Spirit. I mainly, when I need a sign from God or I need a text from God, I grab my Bible, I close my eyes, and make a tiny prayer, and I say, by the power of the Holy Spirit, I ask that you allow me to have guidance. And I would scroll my fingers against the pages of the Bible until I felt something. And then I'd open the Bible thing and I would read whatever's on the pages. And in doing so, I would read and then I'd look at the bottom because at the bottom of my Bible it shows me, what the meaning is, what it's interpreted. And then I'd read it again and be like, maybe it's not how the Bible is being interpreted by this person. Maybe I'm supposed to interpret it another way. The thing is, the best thing that I can give advice to people when they're reading the Bible is to interpret it from God's perspective. Don't interpret it from your own perspective. Interpret it from God's perspective. Because a lot of the life that we live, a lot of the things we live, we don't look at it from another perspective. We look at it our own perspectives, right?
Yeah.
We don't step out of our own shoes and be like, maybe that person's going through some tough shit. Maybe that homeless person that's on the street begging for food was a war veteran. And the reason why he couldn't get a job is because he chose the wrong job in the military. Or maybe the military fucked him over. The VA said he couldn't get his benefits and they fucked him over because the VA does that. I still can't get my benefits from the VA and I had fractured fucking. The reason why I got sent home is because I had fractured, I had minor fractures down my leg and I couldn't continue going to AIT. I spent fucking 90 days in the military, 3 months. I was on my way to AIT. I was on my way to being shipped to AIT, Virginia, Fort Lee, and I got sent home. And I spent the next 3 weeks after I got sent home bedridden. I couldn't get out of bed because my legs fucking hurt. I was given shoe sizes too small because the army is just like, you get what you get. And if you got a problem with that, too fucking bad. I was like, lady, I wear a fucking 10. I wear a 10. You're giving me a 6.5.
Yeah, and then it ends up fucking your feet up for the rest of your fucking life.
Like, I went back because my drill sergeant demanded me to go get new boots, and the lady was just like, I gave you a 6.5 because that's your shoe size. It's like, ma'am, I wear a fucking 10. I need a fucking 10. So she's like, oh, here's a 10. You feel how loose that is? It's like, yes, ma'am. You can't have that in the military. So she gives me an 8. And I was like, ma'am, I need a wide. My feet are crunchy. So she gives me.
Yeah, it got to the point my shit was so bad, like my fucking heels and I have scars on my shit like bled all the way through it and it just bleeding
Like,
raw.
The military is like the last resort, but if you make it, you make it, and you go big with it. If you don't make it, it's not an easy life. Well, yes, I get my veterancy and all that. I served, but I don't get to be like I don't get to wear my military fatigues. I got sent home. I don't get my military fatigues. I don't get my commoderations for my 40 out of 40 iron sight weapon shooting. I don't get my CCO commoderations. I don't get my platoon guidance, ribbon that said, I led my platoon to success. I don't get any of that. I get to say that I did it. I get to say that, I'm proud that I led my platoon. But, I don't get any of the badges or the hardship that I worked through or the people, that I helped along the way. I don't get to bring any of that home. I got to bring my name tags home, and I got to bring my private first class, badge, my Velcro.
Yeah.
Like when they were doing all the the graduation shit and all that, I wasn't even in that battalion that what they were recording it. The original battalion I was in, I wasn't in. I got moved to another one because I couldn't. I missed my Seaburn. I missed my I missed my I forget what it's called. I did my anvil, my forge, and my hammer. Like I did all that shit, but I missed the
Yeah, they basically as moved you since rolled you
yeah,
back.
they gave me after my graduation, they gave me a dead man walking profile, and they're just like, hey, we're gonna send you an AT. You're no longer a problem. When they want to send you home, they send you home, and it just sometimes it just fucking happens because some people don't make it out of basic training. Sometimes people spend 3 years in basic training because they can't go any further, and that it just sucks. But they have to live it out. I was originally
And
gonna
it's
do that, but
like,
I was originally just gonna live out my 3 years, but it'd just be pointless. I'd be doing the same shit over and over again. I'd rather just go home. But a part of me, says maybe I should have stayed. Maybe I should have, stayed. I would have kept my rank. I would have kept my payment. But the thing is, I wouldn't have gotten baptized. I wouldn't have been able to accept, Jesus fully. I wouldn't have, been able to, meet new people and preach the word. I probably could have, but I wouldn't have been able to grow out of the military. I'd probably be more hard headed in the military than I am now. I'd be in shape. I mean, I'm trying to get rid of my little pooch that I got, but I'm not badly shaped. Like, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation now.
yeah. I can promise you, because almost 6 years I've been in, it has destroyed my fucking body. I have a 4 millimeter dislocated disc in my back. I have tinnitus. I have a bunch of shit. But that's because I busted my ass and I worked hard. And the military doesn't reflect upon that. They're like, oh no, you're fine. They just want the operation. So later in my life, it's gonna be a fucking shit show. But with all the documentation, all the medical fucking complications I've had now, I'm already sitting at 70% for my disability when I get out. But that's just because I have life altering fucking health stuff that you can't just fix.
You want my
Yeah, they can go
advice?
do surgery, but it's a 50-50. It's either gets better or it gets dramatically worse.
You want my advice? My advice to you is whether you believe or not, I want you to take the chance. I want you to get a Bible and take that chance. It won't be instant. You won't. You're not going to hear a voice in your head saying, "Yes, child, I am real." Okay, it doesn't work like that. But I want you to take the chance. Um, I haven't had Satan knock on my door. I mean, I probably have, but the way to battle Satan is you can resist them, but you can't fight him alone. You can join him and he'll leave you alone, but at the end of the day, at the end of your life, you're just gonna be with him in hell. So, and in my perspective, to you, I would, as a suggestion or advice for however you take it, I'm not saying you have to, but it's more like, you know, how your doctor says, I recommend you doing this. As your biblical person that has gone through shit in life, I recommend that you get a Bible, and a life applicable Bible, not some fucking military Bible. Because I read that shit, and 30% of the Bible's not in it. It's all militarized based, and it's fucking horseshit. Um, get a life applicable Bible, and you know, just pray on it. Like, just come to God as you are, and just, you know, give Him a chance. And, you know, maybe just maybe, you know, you still keep your 70%, um, but maybe you can get your surgery, you know, done, and you know, possibly it gets better. Because
Yeah, wait a while for that because 28, almost 29. They're like, oh, you're too young for it. Like, no, motherfucker, I want to not be in pain every day. Like,
that's another thing. So yesterday morning I sort of fucking tripped, and I have a pop, I have a tooth in my mouth that, you know, is damaged and it's very scratchy, and I smashed my face against my nightstand or whatever, and not injured, and it scratched the inside of my mouth. I went and prayed right after. This is after me and my girlfriend's little doodad. I went and prayed right after, and I wouldn't say immediately, but I felt, as you know, somebody was there with me, and it wasn't. I can. So little tiki about me is I sense things. No, I don't have. I mean, I have Asperger's syndrome, but I got a waiver for the military, which was astonishing. But um, I sense things that are not supposed to be sensed. You know, spirits and all that. As pagan, you should be pretty, you know, well knowledgeable about the other side. It exists. It is very much a real thing. But each you know, each version branch of paganism has their own different beliefs about what spirits are. Um, my room is spiritually condensed with my energy, meaning if somebody were to enter it, or you know, you'd have the keen sense of like, hey, somebody left the TV on and the TV's not on, sort of thing. Or
yeah.
you have that sense of like some
Yeah, you
like
got that, like, cold, eerie feeling like somebody's watching you or standing behind
no,
you.
more like the electricity feeling, like you just feel that like
Yeah.
fan electricity, like feeling like you left something on or something turned on, and you're just like, huh. I get that sense. So as a recommendation to the Bible, don't go to people who do tarot cards. Don't go to people who say they're psychic or whatnot. Um, most psychics, most mediums, and most tarot users are people who get their sources demonically. Demons know us better than we know ourselves. They know our weaknesses, they know our strengths. They know what can get to us. But when you seek out a medium or a psychic, they're using what the demon knows because the demon gives them that knowledge. So you could go, so like for example, your brother. So if you were to go to a psychic and ask for a medium or a person, and you'd be like, you know, I really miss my brother. She's gonna, after you have that meeting, she's gonna, you know, do some fuwiki, and she's gonna summon a demon, and that demon's gonna act like your brother. He's gonna come back, and I know this is a hard topic for you. He's gonna come back, and she's gonna call you and say, "Hey, I have your brother here. He wants to talk to you." And this manifestation is gonna act like your brother, and you're gonna feel his presence, but it's an imitation of his presence. Well, a lot of people say things happen for a reason. honestly, sometimes people are taken from us too early. But sometimes the thing that we have to remember most is whether they're taken from us early or whether God took them from us. Remember to always cherish the memories that you have from them. Like, cherish the good memories. Sometimes cherish the bad memories because from the bad memories, we learn lessons. Even from the good memories we have from them, we learn lessons. So whether they were taken from us early or maybe God had a reason and brought them to heaven, there's always a lesson to be learned, and you should always cherish the memory you have with the person. But never seek out that spirit with an Ouija board, with like, like a spirit box or a sound recorder. Never go
Yeah,
out of
because
your.
people don't realize when you call out into the darkness, it's not always good things that answer back. It is what is hearing you and seeing you. You never know what it may be, and it can falsely present itself. My mom has had stories about that when she was younger in high school. Her and her friends used a Ouija board, and just some crazy shit happened, and it led to a series of unfortunate events.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I've used the Ouija board 4 times in my life. You know what's happened? Nothing. Now I've downloaded apps on my phone that dis- disguise themselves as spirit boxes and whatnot. And I recently bought a Ouija board probably a few months ago, and before I use it, I say a prayer to God. And I know it's blasphemous to use it and then prayer to God because it is divinity. It's one of the 10 Commandments. Do not worship any other God. But when I make my prayer, I tell God, it's like, God, I'm not looking for another God to worship. I am using this as a foresight. I'm using this to not gain knowledge but understand knowledge. This is this is not me trying to reach out and grasp something. And when I pray over it, I also say through the Ouija board, any evil presence, you are not allowed to make yourself known. You're not allowed to enter my room. You're not allowed to enter my house. You are not allowed to be in my vicinity. Otherwise, God will burn you to a crisp and send you back to where you belong. When I was using a spirit talker on my phone, now I had my internet off and whatnot, so it couldn't use the internet whatsoever, right? I had airplane mode on, which means it can't use mobile data at all, as well. So I had this thing on airplane mode and whatnot, and I was like saying, whatever spirit is here, why don't you come and communicate with me? Like I was inviting it to come and communicate, and my phone went off, and it says, "We are not allowed. You are too powerful. You are blessed. We are not allowed to communicate." And I asked how many spirits were in the room with me, and it also gave me a number of 4 people. There was 4, including myself. And I was just like, why won't you communicate? And it says, "We are forsaken. We cannot contact you. We are afraid." So something was preventing it from talking to me. Like, so right now I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting fucking shiverly chills in my core. Like, my nipples are hard. That's how bad. Like, so I'm gonna tell you the reason why I turned to Jesus. So in 2023, I lost my job. I lost 2 jobs. I actually quit one job so I can make more time for another job, and that job decided to merge with. So I was working FedEx. I was working FedEx Ground, and it merged with FedEx Express, and it cut 20 people off the night shift, and I was one of those people. My managers hated to see me go, and it is what it is. For months after that, I looked for another job, and I couldn't find one. So I got my Bible, and I prayed to God, and I was like, God, I'm stuck. I don't truly believe in you. I don't know where my life is going, and I need you. And at that moment, I felt something touch me. It wasn't, like, it wasn't an upsetting presence. It was like a calm presence, like it's like your grandparents were there, right? And I was just like, Jesus, I give you my life. I give you my life to help me get where I'm going. And after that, you know what I did? I applied for the Marines and I applied for the Army. 3 months later, here comes February. I'm taking my ASVAB for the Army. I score 52. After that, the Marines call me. They want me. And I was like, hey man, I already took my ASVAB for the Army. Can I, like, if I wanted to change over, can I do that? And it's like, you gotta fulfill your contract and then you can move over. But you will lose a rank if you move over because our ranks are different. You will retain your pay, but you will lose a rank. I was like, okay. So I go in the Army. I'm going fucking Fort Jackson, and I'm telling them, hey, I'm allergic to penicillin. So what do? Dose me up with penicillin. Same shit as penicillin. I'm fucking dying.
Yeah, they give you these big ass horse pills.
Oh no, it's 6 shots, 3 in each arm.
Oh, I got pills because I'm allergic to amoxicillin, so I had to get the fucking pills.
They're like, you either die or you deal with it. Pretty much. And so I started noticing, like, having my shoulders down. I was like, my shoulders were getting numb. So I started telling everybody, put your hands above your head. Let that shit go down your shoulders and into your body. It's the fastest way to fucking get it through your blood flow. That way you're not fucking limp arm trying to fucking do shit later. So I'm telling everybody, put your hands above your head. And the drill sergeant's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, drill sergeant, this is the only way to fucking make our arms out. So it's like, put your arms. It's like, drill sergeant, is it okay to put it behind our heads? It's like, fine, do whatever. So everybody else just started, we just all looked like prisoners. But like my first 2 weeks in the military were just fucking pure dreadful. It was just ass. And then we were told our third week we could go to church. So I went to Catholic service, and I've said this before. It was the most ungodly fucking experience I've ever been. I was in a room with 2,000 other people, plus 6 drill sergeants, plus the priests, and the Holy Ceremony, which were 2 military gurus that have been there for years, the chaplain and whatnot. And we were saying Hail Mary, um, the Lord's Prayer, and a bunch of other shit, and it just didn't feel good. It didn't feel good being there because you were kneeling, you were standing, you were sitting, you were kneeling, you were standing, you were sitting for 3 fucking hours. That sermon was going on. It was the most grueling thing ever. The drill sergeants were yelling at people saying, "You need to be kneeling, you need to be standing, you need to be shutting up." I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And after that, I didn't go to church for 2 weeks. I was just like, fuck this. It's not that was the worst thing ever. And then after that, I switched to a different battalion, and I met a guy there. His name is Hadley. Um, he introduced me to Mormonism, LDS. They don't go by Mormons because it's a derogatory term. And he introduced me to LDS, and when I went to the church there, I was greeted like a human. I wasn't treated like a slave. I wasn't treated, oh, you need to be kneeling training. You need to be standing training. You need to be praying training. It wasn't there was no drill sergeant. It was just people treating you as if you were family. And you could bring whatever spiritual belief that you had, whatever religious belief that you had with you, and they wouldn't judge you for it. And I was like, look, I'm Catholic based, but I'm multi Christian based. Like, I have a lot of, faith. I have a lot of research that I've done. I have a lot of this, and that. And I'm just trying to find my faith. And they're just like, You come to the right place. We'll guide you. And so every Sunday after that, I started going to the LDS church and started, getting my faith back. Everything started to get better until I got to know. And then I spent a month, trying to get in contact with the church here, trying to get things set up. And it was going well. It took 2 months, and I got baptized, and I had my words of wisdom, which meant I already broke my words of wisdom with the LDS. You're not allowed to drink coffee. You're not allowed to drink tea. You're not allowed to drink a certain dose of caffeine. Not allowed to masturbate.
Yup.
You're not allowed to have sex before marriage. I already did that.
Yeah.
I had multiple.
They'd have smoking and shaking the bed. A bunch of other stuff.
But they were the most respectful people. But ever since I stepped away from the church from my last ex, my last girlfriend, I stepped away from the church because I was just trying to solve things. I was trying to get my life in order with work and with her, and it was just so. She had this ick attachment. She started. Apparently, when she was younger, she and her mother would go ghost hunting, and she brought home an attachment, and this attachment was a dark shadow with red eyes, which is demonic. But she would also talk about how she'd feel her dead grandmother's presence, a grandmother she never met because her grandmother died after her birth. But this presence been looking after her and reassures her. And I was like, after a while, it started to click because I challenged her shadow man. And I was like, look, I don't want you bugging her no more. If you want to bug somebody, come after me. And for about 2 weeks to a month, I had the worst stomach bug known to mankind. And I have an iron stomach, so anything that's making me puke is like a sign that, hey, I'm not feeling good. And it was the worst shit ever. Now, going back way when I was young, I tell this openly because it doesn't bother me. I used to live in a house that used to be a funeral home. So when I was 8 years old, I came in contact with a dark entity that attached itself to me. And over the years, I would have increased anger, increased hatred. I wanted to do ungodly things to my family and whatnot. And I would have vivid, you know, dreamlike states where, I would do harm to me and then wake up and then nothing would happen. Like, I'm sure, from the stories your mom was telling you, is that correct, your mother?
Yeah.
I'm guessing she had similar things of speaking.
They just had it. They were having like a sleepover or some shit. And they did it, and they thought nothing of it. And my mom became a light sleeper, and
Did they
I
say
guess
goodbye
apparently,
before they put the Ouija board?
huh?
Did they say goodbye to the Ouija board or no?
Oh, I don't know. I just know the jacuzzi unwrapped itself and turned itself on, and the woman started talking, and it was one of her like math teachers or something that was still alive talking, and then what is it that night or early day he got in like a tragic car accident and died.
Fascinating.
But it was
The
just
demon, the demon wanted a fucking jacuzzi, and then went and go killed somebody afterwards.
yeah, it's been a party demon. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, this bath is really hot. Reminds me of hell. Ah.
Pretty
Um,
much.
but yeah, I remember there being an Ouija board in the house. I remember my parents finding it and then throwing it away. But in the house, because I had my half brother at the time, I wasn't, openly aware of the spiritual realm. So I wasn't, focused on it. But after he was kicked out and I had that trauma event in my life, I was targeted for it. And one night in the bedroom on the on the ground floor. Um, a half body apparition came into my room, fucking scared the shit out of me. But I believe from that day till like probably 20, 21 ish, I had an attachment from it, and I'd have this weird pulsing feeling behind my left eye. I get it sometimes now, but not as much. Praying helped a lot. Praying helps. Um, Usually I get this. You ever have this feeling with your eye that while you're seeing through it, something else is seeing through it as well?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's the feeling that I'm having right now. Like something's like looking through my eye as I'm looking through. It's weird to explain, but like it's also the eye that I see my most, like, I can see people's auras. And when I was talking to the missionaries or the elders, as they're called at the LDS church, I would see their auras, and none of them had any bad auras. They all had like heavenly auras. Like one, I think his name was Nelson. I think he had this feathery aura, like he had like angel feathers, like floating around him. You know the feather pillows? It was sort of like
Yeah.
seeing it was sort of like seeing feathers from that, like a pillow being like falling down. But like during like the prayers or like the singing at the LDS church, I would see like vibrations above everybody's head when people would make their testimonies, or like when we were singing the chorus, like the songs and all that. I would see like the vibrations of everything above people's heads during church sessions, and it was amazing to see. It was also confusing as fuck. I was like, what the hell? But you would feel the energy. Do I suggest converting to LDS? Mm, are you an outgoing person? Do you like going to events and all that? Sure. Um, do you like being harassed and bugged about, hey, there's an event coming up, you want to go to it? We want to see you there. Uh, I'm not a big fan of that. But as I stated before, like I recommend, like I don't know much about Heathmuth Heathmuth Heath Heathmuth. Is it Hermon? No, that's son of Odin. What's the belief you have? What is it? Heath? It's Heath.
Heathenism.
Heathenism. Oh, so when I was in the military, um, I had this one battle buddy who was, exploring his beliefs and all that. And across the street, he'd go to this place that did paganism and all that beliefs. And he needed a battle buddy to walk him over there. And it was being somebody who had the darkness and knows what the darkness feels like and knows what it's like. This church, I later found out later on, after like after a while, um, this church had the most darkest energy known to mankind. It was not good. And he was just like, oh well, they practice different paganism beliefs here. They do witchcraft here. They do, um, I would assume heathenism. Um, they did Ida. They did Heathmoth, which is the Greek version. They did Egyptian mythology there, and like all sorts of things. And I later found out that they did Satanism there, like the belief of Satan. And they would do sacrificial rituals in the church. And I was just like, I told the guys, like, I'm never walking across the street to go. to that church with you ever again. That place is condemned. It is not a good. It is not a good place to go. Um, so you say heathenism? Is that what you said?
Hmm? Yeah, heathenism.
So heathen is a dated term used primarily of someone who is not religious or whose religion is not Judaism, Islam, or especially Christianity. Um, it's not referred to any religion. It's just you're
It's
pretty
a
much.
pre-Christian Germanic.
It's a complementary form of paganism, such as Wicca or neo-paganism. It's not a religion. It's a derogatory term to call somebody for not believing in a religion. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying, sir? Are you a derogatory term?
No,
Do you believe in a God?
I'm still learning.
So you're agnostic.
Something like that. Still learning. Try different routes.
So, what was your experience with, the Christianity belief? I know it was a lot of ick.
It was just a lot of hypocritical and just people just trying to justify
I got a new
everything they do
follower.
in a belief.
Somebody's just been listening to our conversation for an hour. On the main screen of Phasmophobia, just looking at a fucking nothing, just talking about God.
They're like, but I still want. I'm like sitting here.
Yeah, so when I came to you about like my belief, how was it different from how you were, how like people have come to you?
Yeah, let's just. Most people just are very pushy about it, and they're just very tunnel-minded, and that their beliefs is the way and everything, and they're just not open to criticism and expansion of knowledge per se.
So there is a few like endpoints that I will defend my belief on. Um, So the origination of AIDS came from the African continent, and what happened was people were eating monkey brains, and in
Yeah,
doing
monkey brains
so, they
are.
would digest this as because it was a cultural dish, and it was it was a sign of we accept you into our tribe. If there were multi marriage based tribes where a lady from another tribe would marry a man from another tribe and whatnot, and they would have ceremonies of monkey brains. More importantly, like chimpanzees and bamboos. Um, the butt the butt monkeys. Yeah, the ones that have the red butts. Um, but it was a cultural diss as a sign of we accept you. But later on, afterwards, when these people would digest it, it would create a viral impact in their immune system. And then when they had sex, it created AIDS. But only those who were doing homosexuality. Um, for example, another thing, HIV, herpes, and all that. Um, that was a thing based off of homosexuality too, because it would be a man and a man, or a woman and a woman, or a woman and a man. Well, that's not homosexuality, but it would be when a man fucks another man's ass, and that man then sucks that man's dick, and in doing so, you create if you have any scratches on your face or you have any open sores in your mouth, and in doing so, that bacteria that's of shit gets in your mouth, it creates an infection, and then herpes happens. So 80%, the reason why homosexuality is banned in most religions is because it is deemed as an unhealthy thing. Well, if you want to get fucked in the ass, people who are watching, that's up to you. But
I was looking and it looked like a couple of them were bots. Only one had actually an older, like established count from 2022.
yeah, so most of me bots are for me. Um, So like not but Nightbot owned and Steam Elements owned does my Discord stuff. Steam Elements does my following stuff, and then Nightbot does my moderating stuff. And then
Yeah, there was a couple others that were in and out that I saw.
I don't know who Jayslin is, but hi Jayslin. I'm sorry if this topic is offensive, but my channel is an open-based topic channel. I talk about politics. I talk about whatever floats the boat. Um, I don't mean to be um, I don't mean to be, very judgmental, but I do have my beliefs and I do stand on my beliefs. Um, there is nothing that I am very against the Muslim belief. I believe the Quran is a full of hotshot bullshit because it is. Look, this it doesn't support women's rights. It doesn't give women rights. It says, "Thou shalt kill if you do not believe in thou faith." It's very against God. It's very against Jesus. While yes, it takes teachings of Jesus and implements it into the Quran, it's not for Jesus. It's very against Jesus. Jesus is a man who lived and died for our sins. Came back to life 3 days later and defeated death. Death is man's only weakness. The devil is not. The devil has no reign over man. The devil is God's puppy dog in some manners, for some people may say differently. But the reason why I say he is God's puppy dog is if we go to going all the way back to how this conversation started. Um, Job, the book of Job is the clearest sign that Satan is God's puppy dog. So, in the book of Job, Job was a very wealthy man. He had sons, he had daughters, he had a land of his own, he had a wonderful wife, and every morning he would burn offerings for God, and he would pray to God, and God would give him things that he desired. One day, uh, an angel of light came to Job, or came to God. So it says here, Job, verse 6. One day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Because God did not recognize this angel. God knew who the angel was, but to the other angels, he addressed them as an angel of under disguise. Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth." The reason why Satan roams the earth is because after the rebellion of Satan and his 1/3 of the angels that fell with him, God casted Satan to the earth. And as Jesus states, somewhere in the Bible, I don't remember which area in the Bible, Jesus states, "And I saw Satan fall to earth like lightning." Um, so verse 8. Then the Lord said to Satan, you considered have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. Verse 9. Does Job fear God for nothing? Satan replied. Have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? So this is Satan, saying, God, you blocked this man off from the world. Maybe the reason why he doesn't fear anybody but you is because you've given him everything. And so Satan continues, you have blessed the work of his hands so that his flocks and herds are spread throughout the land. But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and surely he will curse you to your face. Basically Satan is testing God, saying, the only reason why Job does anything for you, the only reason why he prays to you is because you've given him everything, and he has no reason to do otherwise. The reason why he shuns evil is because you do not let evil come to him. So if you were to strike him out and you do the damage to him, Job will curse you in the name. So God says to Satan, very well then, he has everything he has is in your power, but on the man himself do not lay a finger. So God gave Satan a challenge and said, you can do what you will with Job, but you cannot kill him. You cannot touch Job. This is the same permission that God gave Azazel and 1/10 of his angels during the book of Enoch, the 200 watchers who made their oath on Mount Hermon and said that they were going to give man medicine, fire, and breed the women. So, what do you know about the Nephilim, Austin?
I don't think I know anything about that one.
So, the book of Enoch is one of the books that are not in the Bible because the Vatican, the Church, they do not believe that the book of Enoch has biblical proof that it is true. But in several um, verses throughout the Bible, it goes back to the book of Enoch, which was removed from the Bible. So the book of Enoch is about the rise and fall of man. God sent 200 angels down to earth to watch over man. They were known as the Watchers of Men, the sons of God. But over time, these men, these angels of the Lord, became corrupt. They fell to the beauty of sin, and they swore an oath on Mount Hermon, which doesn't exist anymore. Or it probably does, it's just named something else. And they swore an oath, and they said, till this day, till the end of time, we will marry, rape, pillage, do whatever we want to together, or and so we go to hell for it. And Azazel, which is Satan, one of Satan, we have Belial, the Lord of Lies, Beelzebub, the Lord of Flies, Pestilence, etc. The devil, which is Lucifer, the archangel who fell from heaven because he was prideful. He saw his own reflection somehow, became prideful, went to a third of the angels in heaven and spoke to him in their ears and whispered, I can do better than God, and went to war with God and lost. He lost to Michael. He became a serpent. He became a Hydra, basically, from what the Bible says. He became a beast, a draconic beast, and he went to war with the heavens. And in doing so, he lost to Michael and was sent to Earth. And this is one of the reasons why multicultures in the world believe dragons existed, because devils at the time were they're like transformers in a way. They they can take any shape or form they want to, as long as they, from what I know, as long as they see it. Like, so the mythological um, belief of doppelgangers. Like, if you see your own doppelganger, you're gonna die, sort of thing. Have you ever heard of that? No. Fall asleep. You may have lived. You died. Hello? Your phone died? I think his phone died.
No, no.
It fell asleep. It fell asleep. I'm making him fall asleep. Okay, going back to the book of Job. Long story short, God gave Satan the tasks. Satan took everything from Job but his life, and in doing so, um, Job got up. So after everything was taken from Job, Job got up. He tore his robe and shaved his head, and then fell to the ground and worshipped. Naked I have came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. In all of this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. So, if evil wants you, evil will go to God and protest to God, saying, if you let me do this, I'll make him, shun your name, sort of thing. So, like, Job lost everything. Job lost his wife, his kids, his family, but in the end, God gave it back to him. But if the story was different, if Job, renounced God's name, he would have fallen into sin, and he would have showed God that humans would just do what humans want, regardless of how you want them to feel. But Job stayed faithful to God. But like going back, Life Applicable Bible, it'll give you like the best knowledge you possibly could ever have for the Bible. Um, I would just read up on it. Like, just say a simple prayer. Like, just announce yourself. Just be like, I want to say use my words because that probably won't get you anywhere. Um, just like be yourself when you announce yourself to God. Just be like, God, I don't have my faith in you. My faith is elsewhere. My path is elsewhere. But I want to take a chance. But use your own words.
Yeah.
If you invite good in, good will come in. If you invite bad things in, bad things will come in regardless. If you don't invite bad things in, they're gonna sleep. They're gonna slip through the cracks. I mean, God did not create evil. Just an FYI, God did not create Satan. Like, while God knew Satan was going to exist, he did not create Satan to be Satan. He did not create the devil to be the devil. While that he knew that all these paths would have taken place, he did not create Satan. But because angels have free will, just like humans have free will, God let it happen. And in doing so, we are given a life in temptation, and we are given a path to follow. If we want to choose that path to follow, then we can choose that path to follow. If we don't want to choose that path to follow, then we don't have to. God doesn't force us. Now there are some people in this world that they're just headstrong. They're just hard. They're stubborn, and they have this faith, like as you have seen. They have this faith, and they have this viewpoint. Like they don't take it out of perspective. They don't walk away from that perspective and be like, hey, this is my religion. This is my belief. I mean, I come from a multi-belief factor. I used to be a Taoist. I used to believe in it. I used to, I went from, I did a lot of research in my life from, being an atheist, seeing ghosts and then being like, I can't be an atheist if I see ghosts because that means I believe in the spiritual world. So I went from being an atheist to an agnostic. And then the belief, that there possibly being a God and there may or may not be a God because the way the human body is structured is unbelievably fathomable that there is a God that exists. Somebody created us. Somebody created the universe. It didn't just happen. The Big Bang Theory is a lie. Evolution's a lie. We didn't come from the fucking ocean. Like our DNA structure is bound with the universe. Why is that? Why is there five major components in the universe that make up the same major components of the human body? We're connected. So something somewhere had it connected. Whether it's Allah, which I don't believe it is. Allah is a devil, not the devil. He literally states in the Quran, I am the greatest conceiver and I will deceive multitudes of men to do my bidding. Not in those words, but in that direct sense. Allah is not the God people think he is. Because there should be no religion out there that, sanctifies murder. There should be no religion out there that sanctifies beheading children or stuffing them in ovens because your belief is supposed to be superior than other people's belief. Like the key thing to realize in the Bible is that God has given us multitudes of chances. He forgave Satan in heaven. While yes, he casted him out of heaven because Satan chose his path, he did cast him out of heaven, and he gave him a chance to live. He could have just Thanos snapped him and said, I'm done, I'm not dealing with this. He created the garden evil, he created humans. The serpent came in, whispered in Eve's ear, surely you will not die if you eat from the fruit of this tree of knowledge of good and evil. God said to Adam, you shall not eat of this tree, for you will become one of us. I do not want you to become one of us. I want you to live a life without the knowledge of evil. So God was trying to prevent Adam from knowing of evil so he could live a good life. But God made Eve, and then women fucked life from man. But here's the thing. Adam did not create the first sin. The first sin did not happen on earth, it happened in heaven. The second sin did not happen on earth, it happened in heaven. The first sin was pride, the second sin was betrayal and rebellion. The third sin was Eve rejecting God's word and rejecting her husband for a snake. So the snake lied. That was the third sin. He deceived Eve, and then Eve ate of the apple and then gave it to Adam. And then Adam blamed his wife and was told, you shall not blame, just take responsibility of your actions. And in doing so, women have periods. And that's why they turn into evil little monsters. The fifth sin that ever happened was with Cain and Abel, the first murder. Now, what people don't understand is Adam and Eve had multiple children. There weren't people on Earth. There was incest. Ugh. Incest created the world. Ugh. But people had a. Anyways, long story short. And after that, all this inbreeding and humanity happened. Um, After Abel's death, Cain was, suffered the mark of Cain and was left to wander the world. After that, God could have killed Adam and Eve. He could have killed Cain, but no, he showed mercy. After that, we have bunch of wars, more wars, death. Then we have the book of Enoch. Then we have the flood of Noah, where basically God was after the book. So Enoch was the only human, I believe, who was actually just taken from Earth. Enoch was so good and so pure, like Job, except he left Job on Earth because he said he'd never pluck another human from Earth. Um, Enoch was one of the purest souls on Earth, and God just took him off of Earth and into heaven. He was just like, "You're too good for this place. I can't risk you being corrupted. I'm gonna just zap you, beam me up, Scotty, in the head, basically." Um, so after the 200 Watchers mated with humans, they created the giants and the Nephilim. The giants, some of the giants actually helped Noah build the ark. Just an FYI. So not all the giants were bad, but God said, "You have basically a month to build this ship, and after this month, I'm going to flood the earth." Which, in my mind, would state, when God did this, this is when the separation of Pangea happened. I would believe this is at the pinpoint, when God flooded the earth. This is the time Pangea separated and started becoming separate continents. And God flooded the earth, and he wiped out everybody but Noah. I mean, some people did survive, of course, but you know, after like that, um, God said He's never gonna flood the earth again. He's never gonna just wipe the earth slate. What is done is done, and if wicked continues, wicked continues. But there's gonna have to be people on earth that are gonna have to deliver these people from this evil and show people that there is a path of goodness. That's why we have the Ten Commandments. That's why Moses went into Egypt to go free the Jews out of the Egyptians' camps because they imprisoned the Jews. Um, there's God's always been forgiving. He told Moses to go to the Pharaoh and tell him, it's like, if you do not free these Jews and let them be free and let them continue their journey, bad things will happen. And what did God do? He killed the Egyptian gods. A lot of the Egyptian gods died. Why did they die? Because they were demons. Um, who the fuck walks around half body and a fucking head of an animal? Demons.
I'm a snake. A snake.
Demons do it.
Oh,
Look at for example, if you watch the movie The Exorcist, like old Exorcist, Bafuzu, aka Zozo from the Ouija board, or Suzu, or whatever the fuck his name is, um, he is one of the Egyptian gods that took place in the Egyptian mythology. So there's the factor that Greek gods, they're just demons that were trying to do good in a manner of sense, but they were just doing it out of their own pride. Um, the Titans and all that, they were worse demons. They were worse devils. Um, the Norse mythology, they had a lot more relaxed, so there's more factor that the Norse were more man than god per se. they were more Nephilim based entities rather than actual full blown gods, because Thor's technically a demigod, which means he's a Nephilim. Um, but like the whole Bible, a lot of people like misinterpret this over time. Is the Bible's about God's journey and His way to forgive us. That's why He created His only begotten Son. That's why Jesus sacrificed Himself for us. So we know that the only thing that prevents us from going to heaven is us. So in order for us to go to heaven, we have to follow God. There's no in between path. You follow the in between path, you still got Satan on one side saying, hey, you're going to be over here with me soon. But it's the path to God it has to be on your own time. It has to be you decide it. And if you don't decide it and you want to just live a good life, then hopefully whatever religion you believe in or wherever you whatever you believe in, has that, that end goal where, you're going to live a good life. Because I want to believe in a I want to believe in a God that has my grandparents. I want to believe in a God that takes the people that I know that are dying, or people I don't know that are just dying, that are gonna go somewhere, like babies who just never got to live. I'm hoping that they're in heaven, that there's a place on the other side that is good, and people who do things that don't even know God go to heaven. But like, but if you do believe in Jesus and you do like have somebody who comes to you like me, just take that chance. What do you got to lose? That's the biggest thing ever. It's like, what do you have to lose if you put your faith in Christ? I'm not saying convert to Christianity, because Christianity isn't Jesus. Jesus wants you to come to Him as you are. And if you leave a different person, then you leave a different person. I mean, it's better than going into the military. You leave broken. But like, being respectful, like, I would just what do you have to lose? It's not like you're going to the casino and you're gambling away your life or your money. So like, just take the gamble. Like, you don't have to go to church. You don't have to do what everybody else says you have to do. You don't have to talk to Catholics who are very headstrong about their beliefs. You don't have to talk to Baptists who are very headstrong about their beliefs. You can just take that chance, pick up a Bible, and be like, you know what? I want to do something with my life. I want my life to go somewhere. I want my end goal to be happy. Yeah, Jesus offers you eternal peace. What other religion out there says, hey, at the end of your lifespan, you're gonna have eternal life. You're gonna have peace. You're gonna have virtue. You're gonna have a place that's gonna offer you golden dreams. I mean, Valhalla has that, but you have to die a warrior. You have to honorably die. The Greek mythology, they have it. You still have to die honorably or do something of great deeds like Hercules. You're gonna go do the 12 deeds of Hercules and go kill the Nemean
Nope.
lion.
No, that is a very rigorous task.
The
It's not
Egyptians,
easy.
the Egyptians have their land of reeds where you just don't do anything bad. Don't lie on your neighbor. Don't steal. Don't do stupid shit. You go spend your time as a farmer in the land of reeds.
Oh, we get a whole bunch of wheat.
I'm not. I'm not
Loaded
really.
fields of wheat.
I'm not really sure about what the Wiccans Let's see. Look up end life, afterlife. What happens if you die after a Wiccan? Um, I'm
Your
haven't.
soul just gets re-put back out into the world. It's something else.
So Wiccans believe death is an integral part of the natural life. Oh, that's fucking. That's garbage. Wiccans
Basically, like
believe.
everything's like a life pool, and it just goes back
Wiccans
into the
believe
pool.
in free spirits. What the? No wonder why there's so many dead people on Earth. They believe in Summerlands, which is the serene resting place for souls after they depart from their earthly existence. No wonder why there's. They believe in reincarnation and earthbound spirit. No wonder why there's so many fucked up spirits on Earth. God. So in the Catholic mindset, if um even if you die a human spirit and your spirit stays on Earth, over time you're eventually corrupted into the demonic area of life. If you don't believe in God or like Jesus being like God, like if you don't believe in Jesus and like all that, and you believe in this the pagan Wiccan, sorry, the Wiccan fantasy life. I don't like witchcraft whatsoever because I I've had people try to hex me and it blew up in their face. Um, it honestly, I had somebody hex me in the military, and I was just constantly in agony. Like my fucking ankles were just constantly aching. Didn't matter what shoes I wore. I got to the point where I couldn't handle it on my own, and I just started praying. And that person who's doing that suffering on me, let's just say they couldn't walk, because God was just saying, hey, yeah, I'm more stronger than you, and that's not acceptable. And basically just reflected the damage that they were doing onto me, onto themselves. And they couldn't walk. They actually tore ligaments in their ankles during one of those AOT runs, AOC, those fitness test thingies. They tore ligaments in both their ankles, and they couldn't. They actually got sent home because of it. But I mean that's what happens when you hex somebody who has the belief and God, because God will literally stand in front and be like, hey, you prayed. It may take me a while to answer the phone because I got a lot of people to talk to. There's not a lot of things to answer, but God's omnipotent. He's omniscient. He's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Pretty much like demons. They're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. They're here and there at the same time. They don't have a physical existence like a tether in the physical realm. So they're pretty
Yeah.
much everywhere. And so 1,000 years on Earth is one day in heaven. So it took 7 days to make Earth in the physical time. Right? Sunday was the seventh day. So it's already been 6,000 years. So it's already been 6 days. So on the seventh day, Jesus comes back and he takes the people who are true to him. I may not even be going to heaven on the rapture, so there's that. But if you stay true to him even after the rapture, that's when the faith is truly tested. But the thing is like everybody wants to go to heaven. Everybody wants this. They're gonna say a prayer now, and then the next day they're just gonna be like, hey, I'm a lesbian. Me and my wife, we pray, and we believe in Jesus, but we don't read the Bible because it says in the Bible, Leviticus, Romans, Corinthians, Hebrews, and all that. It literally states in the Bible, Man shall not lay with male, for it is an abomination. Which means women shall not lay with women, for it is also an abomination. It is you are to treat your body as a temple. So eat good, drink good. You can drink liquor, just don't get drunk. Like the biggest the biggest problem people have with the Bible is they don't want to change their lifestyle for the Bible. They just want to continue. They want to accept Jesus into their life, but the moment that it says, "Hey, you need to change your lifestyle for me," they don't want to do that. They rather be like Buddhism, where you can live a good life, you can do whatever the fuck you want, you can become a Buddha, but you're not God. You're just a man who's just living your life as your life. But like Jesus requires you to change. But the thing is change comes from within. Unlike the Quran belief where change comes from without, the Quran believes that you are a child of Allah, and Allah will change you from the outside in. Jesus changes you from the inside out. You reflect your goodness on the outside, while Allah reflects your goodness on the outside in. And it doesn't work that way. In order to change who you are, you must change on the inside, and then it will change your outside. You still with me?
Yeah.
And you're not
About to,
falling asleep?
I say I'm about to hit the bed. It is 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, my girlfriend falls asleep when I get religious with her.
Nah, I've been up for fucking over 24 hours again.
Damn, man, you
I'm
need to
up
go.
on serious.
You know what? Before you go to bed, you don't have to do this. You don't have to even have a Bible. Just shoot a prayer up to Jesus. Just be who you are. Just shoot a prayer up there, and just take that chance. I'm not saying you have to do it. It's just just a recommendation. You say you're trying to learn things. Just shoot a prayer up there. What do you got to lose? I'm pretty sure if you have any spirits in your house, they're gonna be screaming, "Don't do it," because they're all part of Satan's gang. They're gonna be like, "Don't do that. It's bad." But honestly, just be yourself. Just like before you just hit that bed, I mean, you can get down on your knees if you want. You can sit in a chair. You can just shoot a prayer up there. Who knows? Don't grab your M4 and go like, "God, I'm bringing my weapon up there. Here's a bullet with your." But no, just send a prayer, man. Just be like, I don't know where my life's going. I'm in a lot of pain. I want some relief, And you're going to bed right after it, so who knows? Maybe you'll get some good dreams. But I'm honestly gonna go to bed too. I'm gonna go take a nap.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And when you get up, drink
Sounds
some
good.
coffee.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm not I'm not like saying like, hey, after you shoot a prayer up there, you're gonna change your entire lifestyle. No, it'll take time. Like if you
For
truly
sure.
look, man, if you truly want Jesus in your life and you truly want to progress down that path, you're gonna have to open yourself up to it. You're gonna have to open that window for it. And like something might come in that's bad, but if you keep trying to progress towards Jesus, he'll fill you up with light, and that light will shine out more. I'm not saying that you don't have light as already. I mean, you have a lot of pain. The pain is what I'm trying to get you to heal, because you got bodily pain, you got trauma pain, you got motion pain, and like the what I'm trying to do is just give you that guidance, so you're not just hopping from one belief to the next belief, and being like, you know it is what it is, maybe I'll do it. I'm just trying to point you on a path that I know is good. and I know it will, it'll get you somewhere. And I'm just not trying to be like an ass like most people that believe in Jesus. Because there's a lot of lukewarm people out there. They have a cross around their neck. They're always like, praising the Lord. They're always giving you the Bible verses and being like, oh, Proverbs 12, verse fucking chapter 12, verse 30. This is how you're supposed to live your life, sort of shit. No. I like to tell it from a point of view that, I've lived that life. I've gone through multiple different beliefs. I've been through it and I didn't find anything out of it. I mean, like, I've never been a Wicca, but I don't want to be a Wicca. That's just asking for trouble. I don't want sevenfold, tenfold, or whatever fold to come back on me. No, I want there to be an end goal because I don't want to be like oh, I die and then I get reincarnated into an Indian man calling people about their extended car warranty. I don't want that.
Oh, everyone to know.
I am calling you about your extended car warranty.
My
You,
name is Jafar and I come from afar.
my name is Bill Gates. Yes, I am calling you about your extended car warranty. Also, your PC warranty is expired. Don't worry, I am Bill Gates. I own Microsoft. I will help you.
Send bombs and jeans.
Did you know India has the highest scam rate? They have the
100%
they
because
have the
it's
number one
legal over there.
they have the number one population of scammers.
100%, 100% believe it with all their call centers. I am gonna hit the hay.
Mm-hmm.
Watch a movie.
Hey, before you go to bed, just send it. Just send that, send that confusing prayer to that man up there. He'll be listening.
All day, brother.
I will see you tonight if you're awake.
Yeah, I'll be awesome. I'll take me a little nappy nap when you get back on.
Hey, let me know if you want to play Minecraft. I haven't entered the world yet, so I don't know what fucked up shit is in.
Sounds good, you know.
Take care.
Take it easy.
With that being said, y'all, thank you for joining in, listening in. I know it was a little. I know we weren't doing anything. We actually just actually got off of Phasmophobia, and um we got into a conversation, and it just continued from there. Um, I do thank everybody for tuning in, staying, listening. Um, God, goodness gracious, my throat. But as I was telling Ozzy here, the path towards God is a path that you alone must take, you alone must accept. God will not, God will bring you people to talk to you. He will use people's voices to reach you. And if you want that voice, if you want to be reached, you gotta make yourself open to that. Because, like I was saying, when I die, I want to die. I don't want to be reincarnated. I don't want to be a Hindu and be reincarnated into an animal, a fish, a one-cell organism in the ocean. I want to live my life to the fullest. I want to be happy. I want to just grow. And if I die, I just want to go somewhere that's peaceful. I don't want to continue the rebirth cycle. Like, I just want to let life go when I go. Like, death isn't to be feared, it is a blessing. But you gotta live your life through it in order for it to be a blessing. You gotta make something of it before you go. So anybody that's going through like suicidal intentions, stop. I know life sucks. It really does. It's not the easiest thing. But if you're looking for something and you need hope, there's a man upstairs. His name is Jesus. And he has a father up there. His name is God. He created everything. And life does suck. But if we didn't have pain, we wouldn't learn anything. We'd just be happy people just walking around and acting like NPCs. There'd be no need for Jesus. There would be no need for his sacrifice. If God just wiped Satan from existence before he hit Garden of Eden, we'd just be happy little NPCs and nothing to worry about. But like I said, with those with suicidal intentions, if you need hope, there's a man upstairs. Give him a chance. If you need hope, people who don't have suicidal intentions, if you need hope, give the man upstairs a try. Even if people come to you and they've been disrespectful and they've been critical about their beliefs. The thing is you shouldn't let other people's belief dictate who you are. If you want something good, just shoot a prayer up there. Maybe God will come and listen to you and give you that chance. Maybe you're not ready. If you want to be ready, you got to pursue that. And that's how it is. That's how life is. If you want to grow and you want to pursue a life, you want to be happy with somebody, you got to make that commitment with them. And if you don't, then you're not going to get anywhere. But as that being said, God bless y'all. I'm going to bed. And I hope anybody who's listening, I hope God has reached out to you as he has reached out to Austin. He's reached out to me. I felt his presence throughout all of my talking tonight, including now. the best way the way you felt God's presence is when you're tearing up. It's when you're trying not to cry. You're tearing up on the inside, and you just know that urge is coming, and he's there. He's smiling at you, like it's like a warmth feeling. But I say all this in the name of God, in the name of Jesus, and by the power of the Holy Spirit. Amen. I'm gonna close that out with tonight. But thank you all so much for those who watched, who listened, and who possibly learned some things today. I will be on later. I'll most likely be playing Minecraft later, and hopefully, Austin will join me. Hopefully. And then probably a little later tonight, I may stream, I may not. I do have a girlfriend I do have to, attend to. She's my light. She's my world. She's the only thing that keeps me in this world stabilized, other than my family, which is like 2 people. But I'm getting off. I'm gonna go to sleep. 2 hours of talking about God. Woo! Yippee! I'm sleepy. But no, honestly, God is good. If you want goodness in your life, find God on your own accord. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take effort. Nothing comes easy.